And we are back. Welcome, my fellow clansmates, to Jalapeña, a Gargoyles Garcast. I am your host, Jason Roy Gaston, the man. To my side is my fellow rookery brother, VHS Jace. Hello, good sir.
Thank you. I am looking forward to watching. We're talking about this episode. I've already seen
I hope you've already watched it because this is a big one. This is Enter Macbeth. And this introduces a major character into the Gargoyles Garniverse with a fella named Macbeth, or as we will call him from now on, Daddy. We begin this episode with a regular everyday night at the castle. All the gargoyles are hanging around. Goliath is reading in his library. The dude loves to read. He's a very well-read individual. The trio are eating. Hudson's watching TV. And all seems to be well. However, the trouble that Elisa has been warning them about for weeks is about to bubble to a head because David Xanatos is about to get out of prison. Which is not a good situation for a species who spends half of their time as very vulnerable and smashable rocks. And we know that Xanatos is kind of petty in that regards. And they're probably
done with him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I suppose we should get rid of him. Seems a shame, but yeah, we need to get rid of him. He has absolutely no emotional attachments to these guys. He does not hate them. He does not love them. It's just, yeah, they're going to be kind of a pain in the butt. Let's get rid of them. That's what I like about this guy. It's just he's a true neutral. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just a neutral. What's good for me? It's not I want to rule the world. It's just I want David Xanatos to have the best life possible. And then he gets visited.
David Xanatos.
Yeah. So Xanatos's and Owen's conjugal visit is interrupted by the arrival of Macbeth. Daddy comes in. It's John Rhys Davies, everybody. Everybody.
Applause. Yes. Everybody do applaud.
Top tier voice talent on this show. Yeah. So right here, David Xanatos. Not David Xanatos. Macbeth walks in and he's like, I hear you're having a bit of a gargoyle infestation in your home. I can get rid of them for a price. So friggin' smooth. I love this guy. So he gets hired, of course, because who can resist an Irish accent that sounds like John Rhys Davies? I love the way that Macbeth approaches the gargoyles because he doesn't come in guns a-blazing. He shows up and he's like, I didn't want to smash you while you were sleeping. I thought I'd talk to you at first. Come live with me in my home. I have a home for you. Come live with me. I'm like, that's pretty reasonable, to be honest. Macbeth is a reasonable fellow. And who would not want gargoyles hanging around in their house? I would love to have gargoyles hanging around my house. I don't know if my roof can support their weight, but by gosh, I'd be willing to find out, even if it was the hard way.
It's a great home security system.
Exactly. As long as it's not during the day. If there's a home invasion during the day, a paperweight's not going to help.
Yeah, it's still bad.
But so Macbeth offers his home to the gargoyles, again, very reasonably. But of course, Drama Queen is just like, no, this is our home. We're not going to leave our home. This is our home. Yeah, and Macbeth is just like, well, I didn't want to have to fight you, but now I'm going to have to. And I'm Macbeth, so I'm going to kick your arse.
Yep.
So there's a fight. Macbeth is a very capable human because he's fighting them with absolutely he's fighting them with technology, but he doesn't have like a robot exoskeleton. He's not using magic. He's just using wits and ingenuity, and he is making mincemeat out of all the gargoyles. Even mighty Goliath cannot best him. So Macbeth, again, is just a fella you don't want to mess with. Not only does Macbeth beat up the gargoyles, he takes Lexington and Brooklyn with him as hostages. Yeah, so don't mess with this guy. Elisa, in the meantime,
he's very committed to have some roommates.
He is, and who would not want to be roommates with Macbeth, who sounds like John Rhys Davies with an Irish accent,
and that beard, you know.
Oh my God. Hello, Daddy has some porridge for you. Would you like some? Yeah, it's just, sorry. guy's like one of my favorites. I'm so excited we're finally talking about it. Because this guy, I mean, I'm sure you can tell from this episode, this guy is like a crucial linchpin to this entire universe.
Yeah,
He's like
he
the
knows some things, right?
yeah.
He's done some
He
things.
is the last major player to show up. Now there are certainly some others like Puck and Oberon and Angela who have not shown up yet and who don't show up until the 3rd season. But this guy right here is the most important one. And he's somebody you should be watching, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a lot to uncover with him as a character.
Most definitely, yes. So Elisa has been there the whole time, being useless, but again, so were all the other gargoyles, so I ain't gonna look down on her like that. But she's been pushing for them to leave the Erie building, to leave the castle, because it's dangerous for them to be there. And the other gargoyles are slowly starting to realize she's right. And one of them is Hudson. Hudson and Broadway are on the let's get out of the castle bus at this point.
Well, he was watching that Donald Duck cartoon earlier, so he's like, I can't take it anymore. Get me out of here.
Yeah. We don't disparage Donald Duck. He's a treasure. Lovely moment between Elisa and Hudson right here. Normally we see the moments between Elisa and Goliath, but you're starting to realize that all of the gargoyles just love her, and she loves them back, and I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as they said in the Secret of Nim, it's moving day.
Oh my god,
that's a
deep cut.
Oh my god, that's a VHS vault.
Yeah, that is such a deep cut.
One of the funniest scenes in this entire episode is Brooklyn testing the cage bars. Just going, ow, ow, ow. Because, bless him, Brooklyn's not that smart. Lexington is, though, because he realizes that every time Brooklyn touches the bars that the lights dim. And he's like, hey, that's giving us a brownout. We can use that and help Bronx get out. And they're just like, how do you mean? And they're like, oh, crap. So they both grab the bars and get electrocuted. And that
I love that
Bronx
that's
their
plan.
Yeah, go for help, Bronx. Go for help. And Bronx is just sitting there like licking himself, going, huh? What? Go for help. So Bronx goes for help, and he happens to be spied by Goliath, who, in the middle of Times Square, decides to, talk to his guard dog and say, hey, where's Bronx and where's Brooklyn and Lexington? Oh my gosh, I keep getting the names wrong. No, it is Brooklyn and Lexington. I get Brooklyn and Broadway's names.
I thought he was wanting to know where that Krispy Kreme was because he wanted one of those Big Apple donuts.
Yeah, I think back in the 90s, the Times Square was still filled with like porno holes and adult bookstores. So I don't know. If he's
okay, then.
Yeah, don't trust anything with a hole in it. That's all I can say. Anyway, moving on. You threw that joke right at me. You should have known that was coming. So while Goliath is searching for his missing clansmates, Hudson and Broadway are basically robbing the Erie building. The first kind of fun thing is that Owen beats up Broadway, which again, I think I said it last week. Don't underestimate Owen. Owen may just be this really boring looking guy, but don't underestimate him because he will whoop your butt. And he does. He whoops Broadway's butt, and I think it's Elisa who ends up saving them. And they end up taking the Granorum Arcanorum, the spell book of the mage, with them because they don't want to leave that with David Xanatos because that just seems a little bit irresponsible. So yeah, it's moving day. Gargoyle. Oh my god, I keep calling him Gargoyle. His name is Goliath, not Gargoyle.
Yeah,
for a while his name was
characters
Gargoyle.
now.
I know. So Binky the drama queen finds Macbeth's castle, and they get into an old-fashioned duel, and we get some very impressive revelations here. The first revelation is that the animation in this episode is flippin' amazing. I would go so far as to say that the animation in this episode is better than the movie, which is, they had a little bit extra money for that movie, but here everything looks so much crisper. The action is so much better, and the characters always seem like they're on model. And there are so
Maybe
many
it was
great
a
moments.
technological leap in the animation studio at that point. I mean, Disney,
It could
always
be.
invested in their animation
It could
because
be,
it
but there are
looks
moments
so.
like this. I mean, look at
Yes,
that. That looks so
that's.
great.
I wonder if they're doing computer animation. No, not that it's CG, but they're using computer software to help with the 2D animation of that.
I couldn't
Because if
tell
you
you
look at that
at this
shot, that's
point.
got
Yeah.
glowed eyes. That's
Oh
done in
yeah.
a computer. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you, but
So
I just know it looks good. But
yeah,
we
it
get some
does.
revelations.
It does.
Number one, Macbeth wasn't after them. He was after somebody else. He was after Demona. And he
Great
thought
twist.
that Demona was their queen. And not only that, but he doesn't just know Demona, he named Demona.
Yeah, now that was I am your
Which-
father moment for sure.
Yeah, now I want you to tell me what you think this means for Macbeth and Demona. What does this revelation lead us to believe?
Well, they had a relationship at some point. What kind of relationship that was?
Bum chicka wow wow. No.
Yeah, well, no, not that
Well, it
kind
could
of
have been.
relationship.
I'm not.
They've had
I'm not going to.
They've got a history. Pardon the pun.
They-
They have got a history.
Okay.
And if he named her, that kind of alludes that he was around at, well, her birth or her creation, or was responsible for, turning her. Maybe she was human at one point and they turned her. I don't know.
Well, if you remember from the pilot, she doesn't have a name in the pilot. She's always called My Beloved in the pilot.
Oh, so then it alludes to that this has happened with the centuries where she wasn't, away in storage on Nostromos. That then he's one of the key characters with her over the centuries, because he's got to be 1,000 or something years old too, then, doesn't he?
Yeah. So again, we get Damona's entire backstory in the second season, and it takes 3 episodes to tell the story. And it is a fantastic story, and our little friend Macbeth is a major player in that story. Because not only do you get her backstory, you get his as well.
Well, put it this way: when the other gargoyles are really just a tool for him to get to Demona, that's something is pretty epic is going on in their past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, through a gigantic battle, through which Bronx basically returns and rips the cage off of Brooklyn and Lexington's cell, which, first of all, Bronx, why didn't you do that in the first place when you got out of the cell? Just get out of the cell, turn around, rip the cage off. You could have done that, saved us all a lot of trouble, but no, you're just a dumb dog. But the gargoyles basically really bring down Macbeth's housing value by burning his place down. And that's understandable because the guy was, kind of a douche to them. But when Gargoyles returned, oh my gosh, I did it again. When Goliath returns to the Erie building, he is shocked to find that the gargoyles are not there. They're actually on a different rooftop. And he comes down and he's mad and he's like, "Why are you here? Why aren't you guarding the building? My diaper's full." Broadway steps up and he's like, "You idiot. Elisa's right. We're going to die if we stay here. You're wanting to stay here just because you have this pride. We've got to leave." And I think that's a sobering moment for Goliath because, well, first of all, he's got to have his drama queen moment where he yells at nothing. And then he's like, "Okay, fine. I'll meet you later. I'm going to go up here real quick." So he flies up to the Erie building. He tells Owen, first of all, "Don't hurt me." And then he says, "We'll be back one day. We'll be back to stay." And Owen's like, "Okay, whatever, drama queen."
I'm a little bit sympathetic.
I am too.
I am
too, because it is the last piece of the old world that they know. Everything else has changed. Even the people that they knew, like Demona, have changed, and that castle's just been eternal for them, and they're losing it. And it is very sad. Goliath says goodbye to the Erie building one last time, and then flies away. And then David Xanatos comes home, and he's got a hammer in his hand. He's like, "Okay, where are they?" "I'm afraid they left, sir." "Oh, darn. Oh, well." And that's pretty much the end of it. Yeah, so he's just happy to be home at this point. He's not plotting. He's not doing anything bad. He's just happy to be home.
Yeah, which is all right.
And then we see the Gargoyles' newest place of residence. It is the clock tower at police headquarters. Which, first of all, if the police don't notice that there are gargoyles up on top of the clock tower that have never been before, they're not very good police.
No, exactly. I mean, their detective skills are not so honed.
Not that great.
But it's a good place.
I do think it's noticed a couple of times, to be honest. I think a detective at one point goes, "Have those always been up there?" Which is
it actually makes total sense for them to be there if they're going to get involved in helping, with the city. But what a good place to be. You're going to be able to know when things are going bad or whether there's a case on, or that's kind of good. And I like the it's not a huge leap in, it's still very modern for them. It's futuristic to them in a way, but not so much. They're still at the beginning of the industrial age by living in there and not like living in some fancy computerized headquarters. So I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice little midpoint for them.
Yeah, it's a midpoint. Yeah, exactly.
And it's a cool headquarters, I think. Yeah. You definitely see later on how they utilize the space. They don't really change it a whole lot. It's just basically like Hudson says, there's room for a TV over there. Yeah. I can watch my Donald Duck over there, a cute little duck that gets all mad at everybody and loses his temper. And for some reason, never gets taken to jail or slain. But yeah, the last major player of Gargoyles has been introduced. As I said, there's still a few more, but I think Macbeth is the big one. And I've been waiting for him to show up for a while because he's cool. And he does not show up a whole lot. He shows up. I don't even think he shows up again this season. I could be wrong, but I don't think he does. But anytime he shows up, it's a major thing, and the stuff's about to go down. And again, he's kind of like Xanatos. He doesn't really care about the gargoyles. He's not out to get them. He's not out to hurt them. He's just there. They just happen to be there in his world, and it's a neat world. And I can't wait to introduce you to the rest of it.
Nah, it'd be awesome. I can't wait. I have a question though that's slightly off topic but on topic. With all the gargoyles, and obviously I'm watching it and going, wow, they really believed in it and they've spent the money and all that. Was it ever represented in the theme parks in any meaningful way, gargoyles?
That is a good question. I don't know if it was. I can tell you that the rumor is that Michael Eisner did not really like this series. He thought it was too dark. He thought it was too it was not reflective of the Disney brand, but it was popular. Okay, I'm looking at a thread from Reddit right now. It says that there were gargoyle pins at one point, and there was a Goliath meet and greet at Walt Disney World and maybe at Disneyland.
Wow, okay.
I don't have any pictures.
Because I'm watching it, I'm going, what a great fodder for theme parks. Where you can have guys in suits walking around as gargoyles. You could have built the castle. You could do a ride in the castle. You could, there was so much you could have done with this. You know what I mean? Like, in the way of being an attraction in a theme park.
Oh, it would have been spectacular to have a gargoyles featured. Okay, I'm seeing pictures here.
Oh, okay.
It is horrifying. It is quite. I can definitely see why this. I'm going to try to find one that's of high enough. Okay. Let's see if this will let me save this as a.
And we'll see if we can post it up.
Okay,
but it is.
So it is. I can see why this did not survive as a walk-around character. Let me just say that because it is
today,
quite.
Though. Let's have a look. Oh boy!
There you go.
No way. That looks like a bad PlayStation 1 rendering.
Yes.
Is that literally
that's
him?
That's the Goliath you get from Wish.
It's a Temu Goliath. So today you could totally do it. And they would have them walking in the feet the right way, with the little wrong kind
Oh
of
yeah,
crook.
those weird
They could do all
heels.
that
They got.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Now,
Very
I would
spectacular.
have loved to have seen some kind of gargoyle representation, like a ride or something. I could see this being a great motion ride, like with screens. I
Well,
hate those kind of rides, but that
after
could be something
dark
you could switch out. Oh
and an
yeah,
after
yeah.
dark attraction. As soon as the sun goes
Hey,
down, that attraction comes to life. You know?
you know what? Mickey's Halloween Party. Put Demona in it.
Yeah.
Demona would be terrifying, and some other
Yeah.
characters I'm not going to mention yet because you haven't met them yet, but they would be
Which
great.
is also already I'm asking the question. In the world that we live in, when nostalgia is king and we are revisiting some incredible works, it's interesting that nothing's kind of come of this at this point.
Well, there is a talk of a live action movie, which personally, my thought on that is no, we
No.
don't want a live action movie. I don't think that this would work as a live action movie. And I'm speaking of somebody who absolutely loves and adores this series. Live
Yeah.
action does not work.
Holy moly.
It doesn't. It does not work. Although you know what, that's a difficult costume to pull off. I bet
In the
there's
90s,
a
for sure.
cosplayer. There's a cosplayer that I follow who did a Goliath cosplay, and it looked really good.
Yeah. Ah,
But
fantastic.
yeah, I don't think that would hold up walking around in
Look,
Florida.
I just don't know in a world like it's not that expensive, I can imagine, for them to do a sequel series on Disney Plus. They're looking for content, and they're obviously looking to do content that's not costing them $250 million for 6 episodes. This would be a show where they could really believe in life. And I mean, look, to be honest with you, before we started watching this would appear on my main page on my feed on Disney Plus. So it says to me that Disney Plus were pushing it in a way. Like they want it to be
Well,
seen. Maybe they're hoping, yeah.
That and it is consistently one of the most streamed series on Disney. So it's like it's there. Take advantage of it. Exploit it. Give us a sequel miniseries. Whenever the show was in its second season, Greg Weisman came up with I think 4 different spin-offs that he wanted to do.
Yeah, wow.
And he actually set some of them up in the second season. He gave some like de facto pilots. And some of them, one or two of them, I was like, not really. But there's one. This won't give anything away if I say this. There's one called The Bad Guys, which is basically Suicide Squad of the Gargoyles universe. It's all of these selected bad guys from the Gargoyles universe joining forces at the request of the U.S. government to basically pardon themselves. One of them was Dingo. So you get more of that really bad Australian accent. So
no, I just don't know. I mean, I'm watching a show going, okay, this is well written. This is kind of stylistically very unique. It's got very defined characters. Like this feels like a IP that could be in a world where we're exploiting everything. How have they not had a crack at this? You know. But maybe it's coming down the pipeline. Maybe that's where X-Men 97 and things like that are going to pave the way for a lot more confidence in stuff like this.
Give us Gargoyles 97, because I think that would be where they left it off. Gargoyles 97. I've always said if Disney wants synergy, they should put the Gargoyles in the Marvel universe. It would work. It would work.
You can do that because you know what? If it doesn't fit into your 616 universe, there's lots more other universes that they could belong in.
Exactly. But yeah, got a lot of fondness for this TV series. I think it's great that we're walking through it. Love it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you like watching two old men way past their prime and not nearly as funny as they think they are, according to the comments, talk about old television shows, please consider joining our Patreon by visiting the link in the video description below. For as little as $5 a month, you can help contribute to our idiocy, or you can join our YouTube channel membership. So be looking for a link about that. You're going to get these videos early if you go that route. And there's going to be lots of other fun stuff. I'm excited about the future of this channel because we got all kinds of fun stuff brewing right now. And I'm excited.
So if you're part of the Mickey Mouse Club, you're a Mouseketeer. If you're part of the Jason Roy Gaston Channel Club, are you a Gastoneer? If you become a
thank
member,
you.
we'll have to give him a name, a group, a name. Become a Gastoneer or I don't know, something.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Leave a comment. Tell us what we
come
should
up with an
call you.
idea. We're out of them. We have no more ideas left. Ideas
Exactly.
got on the
That's
train.
why we're
and
slumming off
left.
of everybody else's content right now. We don't have any original ideas. My gosh, what are we?
Never have. Never have.
Hey, Ray William Johnson can get famous by using everybody else's content. Why can't we?
Oh.
Why can't we?
Ow.
Yow. I'm just kidding. I love you, Ray. You're awesome. You're fun. He's not watching.